This video is brought to you by the Auram's Comics patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Auram to become one today. Batman, what are you doing? You didn't kill yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hello and welcome to the show with the views. I'm Auram, and this video is a week late, but that's fine. Anyway, for the next couple show with reviews, I'm probably going to be reviewing comics that are back in the past, mostly because I'm currently 2 or 3 months behind on comics, so I'm not planning on reviewing anything like from that stack. I want to get back to current and start reviewing current comics, but it takes me a while to actually get current again. Plus, if anything strikes me as great or terrible or just something noteworthy that I want to review, I'm gonna review it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have a lot to say about this comic, but because it's 2 months old, I'm not gonna say anything about it. So it's not a new thing. I've done this before. I just didn't mention it. So yeah, let's get into it. First up is Batman number 12, and good lord, Tom King, he's so good. He's such a good writer. Like, literally every time I'm like, oh yeah, Tom King maybe was a one-hit wonder with Vision. I know he wrote some other stuff, but I never read it. But like, he's writing Batman, and it's bat great. Like, just this specific issue. The whole I Am Suicide storyline so far has been pretty stellar, but this issue specifically is amazing. The art, the pacing, even just the way that the text boxes are placed in there, the lettering, everything is just perfect. I'm gonna be honest here, and I've not been quiet about this. This is something that I bring up a lot. I think Batman is overrated. He's just Batman. Like, everybody loves him for some reason. Literally, walk up to someone on the street, you're like, hey, Batman. They're like, excuse me? Did you say the best thing in existence? I'm just over here like, he's fine. He's Batman, he's great. But issues like this makes me understand why people love him so much. So, yeah, Batman's great. It's just, when a writer like King sits you down and tells you how self-aware Batman is and how a 10-year-old Bruce Wayne tried to kill himself, you kind of sit there in awe. Bruce became Batman because he had to, not because of some weird cyclical prophecy or his future self coming back to shoot a lightning bolt through his dick, but because Gotham needed a hero, and it took rock bottom for him to realize this. At age 10. Alright, now we've got Jessica Jones number 2, and I just kind of wanted to talk about this whole series, at least up to issue 2. Not specifically issue 2 here, but issue 2 was out at the time that I was reviewing it. So anyway, talk about issue 2 and 1 here, kind of, technically, I don't know. Basically, I just wanted to use this as an example of Bendis writing well. Not the Civil War II shenanigans, but here is Ultimate Spider-Man, Jessica Jones. It's good writing. It's just super cool. The first issue creates a lot of intrigue right off the bat, with Jessica being the one who's finally investigating Secret Wars, kind of in a roundabout way, and also the mystery of what happened between her and Luke Cage and the baby and all that stuff. It's just, there's a lot of intrigue that Bendis shoves down your throat immediately, and it hooks you. I will say, though, that issue 2 specifically does kind of fall plague to some of Bendis's problems, namely pacing. This issue just kind of ends in what felt like the middle of the issue, so that could be worked on, but I'm willing to give it a chance because of how interesting the story is and how good issue 1 was. One last nitpick I do have about this book, though, is the profanity that they use. And not that they use profanity, it's clearly an adult book, but they just overuse it. It's like one of the criticisms I had of Deadpool. They just kind of say asshole and shit any chance they get when it's not really necessary. Jessica Jones calls everyone an asshole. Like, everyone. Even when it's not funny or useful, I don't know. This kind of just brings up a whole big point of what's the point of profanity in books, but when it seems overused, then you really have to question, like, do I need to make Jessica say asshole here just for the sake of her saying asshole to make her look edgy or something? I don't know. I'm excited to see where this book goes. Civil War II also started off great, though, so who knows, maybe this will also be terrible in a bit. Finally is Spider-Gwen number 12, which I wanted to talk about because this book just has so much life in it. It's just such a neat world. I love everything about it. The art and the dialogue just really sets a unique tone for Earth 65. It's very different from 616 and any other universe that we've seen before, and makes me really interested in this whole world. Stuff like Matt Murdock being the Kingpin here is so interesting, and especially in this issue with him now basically putting Spider-Gwen around his finger is terrifying and unique and cool, and I love every bit of it. And of course, there's probably going to be an eventual rebellion when Gwen fully gets her powers back, but it's just story. I've talked about this before. If there's a story that's being told that's cool, even if it gets reset at some point, we still got to see that story, and it was still cool. One thing I did want to mention here, the last few issues of Spider-Gwen have been kind of holiday tie-ins, and I'm really fine with them. Most of the time, they're kind of hammy or come out as like an annual that's the holiday tie-in or something like that, but Latour just does a really good job of seamlessly integrating holidays into this world. It also just makes it feel like a progressing world that things are happening in. Plus, it's just a good thing for Gwen's storyline of being powerless right now. It shows that she's been in this powerless state for a while, for at least a couple months now. It's just a great example of tying into some kind of event without sacrificing the essence of the source book. I don't really have much else to say about Spider-Gwen. It's just really good. This book is just really good. I'm really interested to see if this becomes the next Ultimate Universe. It's very possible the day that they announce a new book with one of the characters that was introduced in Spider-Gwen is the day that the slippery slope starts, where people are like, ooh, Earth 65, which it needs a catchy name though. That's another thing, it needs a catchy name. It can't just be called Earth 65 forever. It can't be called the Spider-Gwen universe, so we need something there, like the Ultimate Universe, something catchy. The Super You, I don't know. Anyway, that's all the reviews that I have for you this week. Again, apologies for there not being a video last week, really. I did a 6-hour live stream for the 2-year anniversary of the show with issues, and this show, I guess, too, kind of, technically. We're gonna try something new here. Since I'm not current right now, normally I ask you what you thought about the books that you read this week. Let's just talk about specifically Spider-Gwen and her universe. What should we call her universe? Her Earth 65 universe if it, like, gets popular? My suggestion was apparently the Super You, but that's terrible, so come up with better things. And now, it's time for me to sell out again. If you want to go the extra mile to help out the channel, head on over to patreon.com/Auram and support us. Give us some money. You get cool stuff like access to a Discord server, behind-the-scenes content, the show on Mondays. Its new home is over there. I occasionally post stuff there. It's a fun time. Come chat with us in that Discord server, or just lurk. And of course, before you head out, make sure to leave a like, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Next time, I try and kill myself at age 10. Is that too dark? Hey, is that too dark?